Hi, Michelle. Thank you for giving me access to your file. I just wanted to give you some feedback. I know I gave you some feedback in the message area about the logo. I just opened up your your file here. I don't have this particular logo, so that's why typeface. So that's why it's coming up like this, but that's okay. I just wanted to give you some tips. I think that are needed in order to make this menu successful. One of the biggest things that I see here is obviously alignment. You have, all of your copy just kind of not really aligned in a consistent manner. Another thing is consistency of your subtitles. They're all different sizes. Keeping those consistent is important. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I think needs to be done here. And let's go pull this off to help you move forward. I do like the background. I think that's really cool. This picture that you have in here, I think that's definitely very interesting. I see that you're using your guides, which is good. I would suggest use your guides for your margins. That means you're kind of the frame around so that your copy isn't getting too close. I would do about maybe a 1 inch or, a quarter of an inch. I'm going to do 1 inch here on the top sides to make sure it's consistent. And what's nice about this is you can keep everything inside this square so that nothing like this type here is going beyond this this line. And it makes everything inside more important because you're giving it that nice margin space. Okay, so let's deal with the subheads first. So we have the meats here, and it is definitely not distorted, which is good. It's 72 points size, and you have a stroke on this. I would first say, do not do any strokes on type. This makes it extremely hard to read. Now, I know you did that to make it readable because the hue, that color that you chose is very light on top of this color. So what I would suggest is just changing that color so it's a little darker. So go ahead and choose a darker color so that it is a little bit easier to read. I'm going to pull this into my color swatches here. And then let's go ahead and click OK and go. If I double click on it and I add it to my swatches, it's actually going to add it in here. So go to swatch, window swatches if you can't find this. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag it down into here. So I have this. I can always go back and edit this. Say, if you want to make it more blue, we can make it more blue here. And then once you edit it, it'll edit it all around. Okay. So that's the first thing. So that's 72 points here. I can see in my character panel. Let's see what the platters is. 72. And again, we're going to make this that same color without a stroke. So go ahead and delete that stroke. Quicksand is the typeface here. Yep, same bold, everything that's consistent. Now the sides is, let's see. We have 72 points for this too. That's really strange. All right, that looks different. So let me fill this up first with your color. Okay, we have to ungroup this. That's why. Ungroup that so that you're just dealing with your side. And I would just make this left justified for now and just get rid of any spaces that you have. Do that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and whoop. It's telling me to save. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to the left side here. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this one. It's still showing 72. I would just delete this sides and drinks and go ahead and just copy and paste these in because it's saying it was the same size, but it wasn't. Copy paste. That way everything's consistent. Drinks. Okay. You could probably make these smaller. I would do probably like maybe a 36. I think that would be good. That's actually pretty big. Your overall size of your menu is pretty large. It's a 20 by 22 inch. So that's pretty big. So I would keep it no, your subheads no larger than 36. Okay. And then I'm just going to align. I'm not sure if I'm going to align those centered or not. I'm just putting them to the side. And then the next thing is, let's ungroup this so we can get to it, is your titles of your menu items. So you're setting them at 36. I would definitely go around 14 or 18, maybe even 21. Let's do 21. Quicksand, you have a medium, and I would do left align. So I have those at 21. Your description should be even smaller. So maybe like 14. And I know that seems really, really, really small just because your menu is so large in size. So what you might want to do is make your menu a little smaller so that it makes sense for your type, your copy. So what you could do is go up to document setup, file document setup, edit artboards, and you could make this a little smaller. I would say probably no more than 12 by, you kind of almost square here. Let's see, it's 12, it's 14, it's 15. Let's do 12 by 13, 14, 15, 12 by 14. So I'll go right here. We'll crop it like that. So we'll go 12 by 14 in your width and your height. That way it will make a little bit more sense whenever you're, and you can, let's see, I must have a locked background here. Let's go to my layers. That you can see how that will make more sense whenever you're dealing with your type point size. I think you just pull these together like this. The only thing is you'll have to redo, see now how that makes more sense with the colors. You're just going to have to redo the size of your images and, obviously your copy here. Okay, so let's go ahead and lock that so we're not touching that. And then go ahead and change all of this. Now this can all go in the same type box. So what I mean by that, let me give a line space. I'm going to do 21 line spacing. So the Stegosaurus burger and this information, let's go to your paragraph. I can't see that here, paragraph. Go left align, there we go. And I think we set this at what? 21, was it? Let's see. 21, and then this was 14. And then let's give it a little bit more. Let's do a 26 leading. And I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to place it in this. I'm going to do a return after this and add that in there. Okay. What's nice about this, you're not using all of these, you're using one text box instead of like all these individual. It's just easier to edit when you're ready to edit. Okay, I am going to just copy and paste this for time. Let's see, that's right. Nuggets with everything and then select all. I'm going to put my cursor in front of this. I'm going to hit return and I'm going to have to extend this right here. So I'm going to extend this all the way down. So you can see that I have a nice repetitious thing going on here. The next thing that I'm going to do, let me pull this up just a little bit, is I'm going to implement tabs here because you don't have price points in here yet. So let's go ahead and implement tabs. I'm going to pull out also, let me see if we're going to do 2 columns. And this is 12. So this will be like 6. This will be halfway. Let's do a column. going to right about there. So we're going to put our text column right on this margin line. And we're going to make a margin line for this side. So we're going to align everything. And you can select these two tabs and go to your align tool to align the tops of these so that they're aligned. Oh, you do have price points. They're just kind of randomly over here. Okay. Let's, I'm just going to, what I'm going to do just to save time, because I think this will be easier just to show you and kind of you just do it yourself on your end, is I'm just going to copy this and pretend like this like is chips, you know what I mean? So just kind of, it's like a cooking show where I'm kind of trying to save time here. Just pretend like this is showing your sides over here. But before I do that, I'm going to put in tabs here, and I'm going to put them right after the description, not the title. Or I could do, actually, I'm going to do it after the title. So I'm going to go to my, let's see, this is how you bring up tabs in here. You go to your window and you choose type and you choose tabs, window, type, tabs. This will bring up a tab ruler and you're going to select the right justified tab. So it looks like it's the third one in here. Just select that. And we're going to set a tab right where this margin is, right there. Okay, that margin guide right there, because that's where we want that price point to end. Now, if we want dots to appear and then the price point in the leader area, just put a period. One period is fine. And then hit that little X to let go, to close it. And then all you need to do is hit tab and then the price point. So let's put $2 or $3, $3.99. Pretty cool. So if you have all of your types selected, and I only had my cursor there, you might want to go and select all your type first and then go to tabs, because it might not be set. This looks like it's set, so we're good. Okay, so after every one of these, if you hit tab, no, it's not actually setting it. Hold on. That's what I thought was going to happen because I didn't select it. Yes, we're gonna have to select it first before we set the tabs, just so you can assign it to each line. If you don't select it all before, and I showed you like the short way, it's not gonna create tabs for you. It's not gonna assign it to you. You'll have issues. Let's do $5 burger. Tab. Let's do $3. So you pick whatever that you want, and then the description again should be smaller than the title. And you see how nicely ordered this is. Now for purposes of time, but you would have obviously different copy under platters, but for time wise, I'm going to create a new, I'm just going to go copy and paste. Let me pull this up here. I'm going to take my type tool and I'm going to draw out a copy box and I'm just going to put paste. So see how it just copied everything. Now my tabs are a little weird. So I'm going to go select all. I just need to push them over a little bit. Type tabs. You can always adjust these type tabs. I just need to pull these in just a little bit. There we go. It was kind of bumping down. So if that's happening, just pull it in just like I showed you. And then I would align the baseline of wherever you're setting your margins. And I think, oh, I have to reset these margins. Let me unlock. Since we changed the size of this, my margins changed. So let's go ahead. And I'm doing about, let's see, an inch again. I thought this looked too big down here. So let's do, there we go. So then I could pull this down to the baseline of whatever my last line is of text. And you might want to zoom in. Sometimes it's easier to zoom in because it won't rest exactly on that line. There we go. And that will keep it very, very consistent. And then make sure, you're putting that same space in between here than you are here. I would put at least like an inch, inch and a half in between each section. And just make sure these are all aligned. Yes, okay. And then worry about your sides. And again, this is the middle. We're going to give two of these margin guides here space. And, try to keep it so that they're, symmetrically or, from one column to the next. There's the lines are meeting on the same guidelines, the baselines, I should say. Okay. And again, you'll have different stuff under each of these because it's not making sense for this, but you get the idea for the most part. I'm going to align these, and then I'm going to align these, and they're all aligned on the same baselines and good stuff. So here you can see it's definitely, oh, these are, you know what? Because I changed the size, I'm going to pull this out a little bit. That's what's going on there. So I'm going to adjust these tabs here. Window type tabs. So that falls on the other. Since I changed the, and if you ever need to pull off a tab, you can just pull it off or reset it. It looks good. And you can actually type it in here too. So it's, you can copy that just to make sure it's consistent with this one. The placement, because this one will show placement here. We can replace it. There we go. We're going to just pull this one right off. We don't need that one anymore. And it just places it in a nice way there. Okay. Get rid of that space in there. So you can see, and let me hide my guides. And let me show you trim view. You can see how nicely it is organized. And you can do that where you're copying and pasting this information like I did, and then go in and actually change this. So you could do like, you had chips, and then you can go, it's kind of like an easy way to do those changes so that you're not, setting all those leading sizes and body copy sizes over and over again. But you can see how nicely aligned this is. It's consistent. It's easy to follow. Some weird stuff going on here. Let me save this. Got my viewing. It's aligned. Your subheads are all consistent and easy to read. Each of your titles are the same size, and your descriptions are nicely spaced. The line spacing is clear. It's not too tight, not too loose. As far as in between the line spacing of your title and your description, your price points are nicely aligned. You have the leaders in there, easy to follow. You have your margins set so that you have a nice frame around here. It's a white space that really helps. You have about an inch, very consistent inch in between each of your sections, so it's easy to read. So those are the things, and I don't know where your logo went, that, okay, let's see. No, that's somebody else's. You actual size. Okay, this is actual size. Your logo. Oh, that's because I have the trim view. That's why. Okay. Trying to find your logo here. Okay, so that's what I would definitely do to improve that overall, menu. And the biggest thing is changing the size of your menu so that your point sizes make sense. Now, as far as your logo, I gave you information on, I don't know if you had Dino Eats or Dino Diner. So I know I kind of gave you some information on how to adjust that. So just go back and read that to adjust your logo. I think let's see. Oops. Let's see. Let me stop sharing here because I want to look back at my that I gave you some, yes, I gave you some I think, a picture in your message area. Just go back and review that. And basically what I was saying is just update this so it's more modern looking. I forget what font I use, but I even adjusted like the dinosaur, Dino Eats. Or Dino Diner. I don't know. I forget what you had there, but just go back and read through my feedback for that. Of course. There we go. Okay. And make it work. Just for purposes of keeping it simple. I'm just going to kind of put this up here for now. There we go. Dino Diner. You can add in your dinosaur, you know, kind of once you revise it. I'm just kind of placing it in here so you can see what it looks like with the logo. And then feel free to kind of, I think this is nice because you have a nice textured background to this. I think, you know, it's simple. You don't really need too much. But if you kind of wanted to play around with something different, I mean, you know, just playing around with the simple tools in here would be something that you could definitely play around with. Like maybe just putting a square there. This would be white. And like I did with that coffee, I don't know if you watched my demo, you could do some really cool things even with just this. There's effects in Photoshop, or sorry, Illustrator that you can kind of play around with, which is kind of fun. This is the arch, lower arch, upper arch, which you can't see, arch ball. There's a flag, kind of fun. Some fun things you can play around with that, you know, obviously if you don't know Illustrator, you know, these are things that are new to you, new to people learning the program. So, but yeah, just I hope that this, you know, helps you adjust your copy. The biggest thing I would definitely change your artboard size. And like I said, it's really easy to do. All you have to do is go to File, Document, Setup, Edit Artboards. And if once you're there, if you go to your properties box, you'll see in Transform, this is the size. So I made it 12 by 14 inches. If you kind of want to do the size that I did. And then once you do that, just kind of adjust all of your copy. Okay, so hopefully this helps you. I think if you just listen to this recording and go slowly rewind and do some things that I've done with tabs and, you know, with alignment, this will definitely help improve your overall menu.